When you walk in a room, you awaken those who are unaliving themselves with their decisions, with their choices. That's what I'm getting. When you walk in a room, you awaken those who are unaliving themselves. Okay? Many times, many people who are stuck in the past have a tendency to prevent themselves from accepting accountability. And they continue to point the finger at others and just basically refrain from recognizing what the problem is within themselves, to fix it, to repair themselves, and start to build up their true authenticity again. Because over time, in this place, it gets taken away from you. Especially if you're a child and you're not around individuals who cultivate encouragement within one's authenticity. So if you have had siblings, parents, family members, friends who didn't place any means of importance, I just heard, if they didn't place any means of importance on you being yourself and accepting you for you, telling you that you are handsome, telling you that you are gorgeous, you know, expressing to you your good characteristics that are within you, like how you think, your talents, what they see that is good in you. Even if you do have talents and abilities, you can't see them because, and I'm saying as an adult, you end up not being able to see them or set them aside as if they're not that important. However, those are your keys out of a state of feeling as though you don't have any means to elevate yourself. You are made to remove mindlessness. There's a lot of behavior that many indulge in, and it's mindless. So when there's so many people, a vast amount of people that continue to take action with no intention, then their actions are mindless and they become like zombies. Zombies can be animated, but it's just that they don't really have control over their actions completely because they're being controlled by entities. So it's important that you tap into your ability to walk into a room and shift it. So you'll transform situations that many will see as a lost cause, and you find a way to awaken the energy again in those rooms or in people, in others around you. Just by your words that you speak and things that you say can awaken people who feel empty inside. They feel as though there's nothing there. They feel hollow. They also feel numb. I'm hearing there's also a numbness there. When you activate your power, or when your power is activated, because some of you have activated your power, some of you have not yet. So I'm going to generalize and just say, when the power is activated within you, and it's really like the solar plexus, it's the core. When you're activated, when you walk through, you're a tower because you cause change. You see where change is needed, and you're so passionate and adamant about it that the energy around you has no choice but to change. Even if they don't want to, it could be a resistance there. However, you will strike a chord within many people. You will strike chords. And that's a good thing, because that means that you allow yourself to speak on things that you don't agree with. When you're able to speak on things that you don't agree with, and you know it's not right, especially with your relationship that you have with source energy, and you understand what love is about, and you understand the reason for it, and you understand why it is valid, it's needed, and it should be nurtured in a way where you could talk about tough situations without really holding back. However, in a way where people will receive it. You master your delivery when you're able to do that. Because many things that cause people to unalive themselves, they're very touchy topics, very touchy. And it can make many people very uncomfortable. However, if they allow themselves to have the ears to hear instead of being appalled and trying to repel the information away from them, they begin to heal. And they begin to know, you know what, I do that. I do take part in acting that way. And I do want to change. I don't like the way this feels. It's uncomfortable to not be in my true nature. And I'm tired. I'm tired of not being in my true nature. I'm tired of not acting from a place that is in the depths of my soul, that's connected to everything. Because the part of you that is connected to everything is full of love. When you recognize that you're not alone and we're all connected and everything is connected, you recognize how when you look at someone facing you, especially, I mean, I could say that virtually as well, but especially in person, when you communicate with someone, your love is automatically going to activate, because you're going to see yourself in that person, because they're like you. We are a mirror of each other. And when you recognize that we are a mirror of each other, there could be someone out there that's doing heinous things. It's just that they lost that love because they've been taught to stray away from love. They were taught that it is not right. They were taught that it's weak. They were taught that if you love, then you get your feelings hurt. And many people that think that way, they're just looking at love incorrectly, or they're dismissing love so that they can validate their actions, which are not pleasurable for many people. And they can go out and wreak havoc without any conscious, allowing themselves to do things without having a conscious. Because when you have a conscious, when you're doing something wrong, Spirit is going to knock at you and say, what are you doing? Why did you just do that? Not only are you hurting other people, but you're hurting yourself. So people that can go out and be criminals and violent and just doing things to people, their conscience has to be shut down, because the conscience is what reminds you of what you do. And sometimes many people feel as though they have to move in that energy to survive. But that's the illusion that the negative energy will cast upon people to make them think that that's the way to be, when it just equals unaliving in many different ways. So Spirit is saying you are the person to walk into a room of emptiness and fill it up. You are the person to walk in a room of emptiness and fill it up. And the way you fill it up is with your love, with your understanding of what's missing, with being able to read a room, with being able to read people. Because have you ever noticed when someone is sad? Have you ever felt the energy before where they didn't say anything to you, but you could feel that they're sad. You could feel that something's wrong. That's a power that you have. And this is not going to resonate with everyone. So those who this resonates with, you'll know. But when you're able to feel energy, feel when someone's nervous, feel when someone's uncomfortable around you. And many times people will be uncomfortable around you because they know that you can read their energy. They know that you're very sensitive to energy. So if they're doing something wrong, they're going to feel uncomfortable. They might move a little funny. You know, they might look a little jittery, you know. I'm hearing it could be the same reaction that you feel when you really like someone. It could also happen with someone who's afraid. You know those butterflies you get if you really like someone and you're around them and you get some butterflies? That same energy can jump inside of a person that's nervous for you to know the truth about them. And they may give off that same anxious, uncomfortable energy where they look jittery, like they need to move. And I heard that's those demons jumping because they're fearful of the earth angel. I almost said fearful of the angel in you, but it's best to say fearful of the earth angel. So someone who's not doing right by people and just choosing to use their will to abuse people instead of really help people, they'll know when a real one is around them because they're going to feel uncomfortable. And you're going to see it if you're sensitive to energy. You're going to see it, you're going to feel it, you're going to feel it. There's no way to not feel it when you're sensitive to energy. Spirit is just telling you this is your power. Like, this is something that you're able to do. When you go through so much in life, you start to pick up on things without trying because you see things before they happen. You know, when the enemy works, it may seem like the enemy is creative, but the same tactic is used in different environments. The only thing that's different is the environment. However, the same tactic is used to attack. It's the same thing. The lies, the making you believe the lies, and then you sticking to the lies to where they become a belief. Then you start to act from the belief because the lies have become a belief for you. And then you eventually just destroy yourself. You go into self-destruction mode thinking that it's the right thing to do. So that's basically the tactic. That's the whole tactic. It's right there in all of our faces. But just because we'll see that same energy in different environments, we'll think that, you know, it's something else, but it's the same thing. It's the same old tried and true method to attack those who have a purpose and who have so much power that is within them, so that their power becomes dormant, so that their power becomes powerless. Their core becomes powerless. Their passion, the fire, the flame that is supposed to be there burning in their core, it doesn't even have a flicker. No flicker. You know how you could, well, I can use this as an example because I have a lighter, right? And you know, you see the spark. You saw the spark before I did it. It's not happening all the time, but there's a spark, and I know you saw it in the beginning because I saw it. But many people don't even have their spark. It's completely cold. There's not even a spark. And that's so sad because there's too many people that have lost their spark. Our homework, until we get this homework right, is to get the spark. We have to start somewhere. At least have the spark. At least have the spark and have that nature within you to where you're not going to accept what you've been given. You're not going to accept it because you know it's not right. Because if you keep accepting what you know is not right, how are things going to change? How are they going to, they're not, they won't change. They'll stay the same. So in order to get your spark, you have to think, you have to use your mind in a way where you're allowing your mind to flow and receiving ideas without pushing them away, automatically receiving something that's amazing and then saying, oh no, it's not that good, I'm not going to do that because I don't know what they'll say. I don't know what they might say. They might lie. Who's they? They don't matter. The only one that matters is you and spirit. When you start looking at things like that, your authenticity begins to spark. And then the flicker comes, and then you're starting to look at things differently, and you start to disregard others that don't understand you. What's the point of trying to please people that don't even understand you? That is nonsense. To try to please those who don't understand you. So you must realize that even if they do understand you, they'll try to undermine you because they don't want what you're saying to be true. Because if what you're saying is true, then that will solidify the fact that they've been living in a way that is not going to uplift them, but it's going to tear them down. It's going to break them down. It's going to make them weak. And they're going to be walking without an activated soul. So there's going to be people that are going to be resistant to what you say. That's to be expected because that's what it is. There's always two sides to the coin. Always two sides. So just knowing that should allow you to be free to feel comfortable and activated. And also recognizing the fact that you're not here for the ones that want to oppose you just because many times it's just to make you stop talking. They just want you to be quiet. Because if you start speaking too much truth and people aren't ready for it, then they just want you to be quiet. They don't want you to talk. Just stop talking. They just want you to stop talking. Okay? And that's more of a reason for you to keep talking. Keep talking because clearly what you're saying, I heard you're speaking from a place of a heavyweight. A heavyweight. When you speak from a place of a heavyweight, you have experience. You have experience. And your blows hit hard. They hit home. For those who don't feel comfortable at home. Your soul is home. That's making me want to cry. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. I got caught up for a second. You know, I'm very passionate about these things that I speak. I'm not just talking just to be talking. I'm talking because I believe in these things. And I believed in these things ever since I was a child, but I didn't understand what I was thinking. I didn't understand why I was feeling so much. I didn't understand I didn't understand. Now I understand why I have a pull. I've been pulled into this direction. And I fought it, but I've been pulled here, and I've been pulled for a reason because it's my passion. My fire is hot. It's flaming and it burns. And so these messages come to me and I receive them and I have to share them with you. No matter how tough they could be. No matter how uncomfortable they could be. And I feel as though many of you have experiences. Many of you have messages. Many of you have things that you know that you want to talk about, but you haven't spoke about them yet just because maybe you feel as though you're not going to be received well. Maybe that's a fear that you have, but fear is not real. You know, it's not real. It's just a method that the enemy uses to take you away from what is yours. What is yours is what you're passionate about. And when you activate that, you could be working, but when you're working within your passion, you never work a day in your life. You never work a day in your life when you are feeding what you're passionate about. You're feeding your passions. You're feeding into your passions of change, because this is a forever changing world. We're forever changing. And when you feed the change, mindlessness disappears, you know, and more individuals become awakened, because there's so many individuals that resonate with you that need to hear you, because you are you and you have your experiences, and many people will connect to you because you're you, and you walk in from your place of understanding and from your authenticity. See, let me put it like this too. There's some masculine energy that just can't accept hearing information from feminine energies, because they're feminine energy. So it's like, I can't listen to a woman's perspective. I have to find a man's perspective, which I get it, you know. So for my masculine energies out there that listen to me and are able to receive the messages, I commend you, because some men they're unable to do that. However, I feel like your power enhances when you don't sell yourself short to put a restraint on where you get messages from, because God will use anyone, and I will always say that. God could use anyone to give a message. So when you could receive a message from anyone and take what works for you, you really master yourself, and you master energy. You master energy. So for those masculines that have a story to tell, even if it's like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have a story to tell, my thing is that just because the way you speak, the way you talk, your swag, your wit, the way you carry yourself, there are certain individuals that they will find you easy to understand because you are who you are. So that's why when you tap into your nature, you know, your way of being, you can really speak to so many different individuals that you never knew would want to hear what you have to say. Because many times in our life, before we get to the point of speaking on topics that mean something to us as individuals, prior to even knowing if anyone else is going to want to hear it, when you're sturdy in what you feel and what you believe, and when you speak it out loud, so many other individuals are going to understand you, because we are mirrors of each other. But most of the time in life, you feel like you're alone and you're the only one going through things. No, there's many of us going through very similar situations, and sometimes it's so similar that it's scary, because it's like, how are you across the whole entire world? You're on the other side of the world, and you've experienced what I've experienced, and you're from a different culture, but you experience what I've experienced. You know how powerful that is, and how that connects us to each other, and how it creates that oneness and wholeness. And it's one of those ways where we can see each other for who we are beyond our skin, where we can see deeper than that, and we can see each other's soul. That's love. That's wholeness. That's correct. That is peace. That is understanding. That is awareness. That is so much. There is so much there in that place, and it's so beautiful. And this is where we need to be in order for change to come. Being able to spot dead things and make them come to life again. That's a key. There's many keys, and that's one of them. So if you have influence in any way, even the influencers who watch me, the YouTubers that watch me, think about what information you're sharing and your energy. Think about the energy that you're giving to people, because these people will follow you. And you are when you're an influencer, you become a leader. So you could either lead people off a cliff, or you could lead people into having an eagle eye and flying high. Because it's not preferable, I heard. It shouldn't be preferable for you to lead people off the cliff. So be very mindful of what you say. And if you're not, and you don't feel like that's important to you, okay, that's your will. I'm just saying, you just have to be careful with your own soul. With doing that, you have to be careful. And if you're not careful with your own soul, why do you even want to speak? Why do you even want to influence? What's your purpose? And where do you think your purpose for being an influencer, what is it for you? What does it mean to you? Ask yourself that question, because if it's coming from a sour place, then no matter what you do, no matter how much money you make, you're not going to be happy. You're not. You're going to be very unhappy. And many people trick themselves into believing that the dollar alone gives them happiness, but it's not just the dollar. It's also your awareness and your intentions. Phone always ring when I'm recording. Well, sometimes it doesn't, but it happens a lot. Okay. Let me get a charm. It's a star. I just heard blue star Kachina. Wait. Let me just look that up real quick, because hold on. I forgot what that is. How do you spell that? Kachina? Am I doing it right? It starts with, it's a K, not a C. Oh, you know, that's crazy, because I was just doing research about this prophecy. I was just doing research. I came across a video about the Hopi, I think it's Hopi prophecy, and it's connected to the Hopi. Oh, that's a beautiful prophecy. Oh, it's so beautiful. It is. It really is. You should look it up. The blue star Kachina is associated with the Hopi prophecy. Is a Kachina or a spirit? So Kachina is a spirit, the blue star spirit, that will signify the coming of the beginning of the new world. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. By appearing in the form of a blue star. And I just happen to be wearing blue. I like blue, if you guys didn't notice. I wear it a lot. The blue star Kachina is said to be the 9th and final sign before the day of purification. And I'm always talking about purifying our soul, because that's the whole point. This is what we're here for. We got to do the thing. We got to stop coming back here and not doing a thing. It's time to do the thing now, okay? Described as an apocalypse or a world engulfing cataclysm that will lead to the destruction of the world. Author, okay, I'm not going to mention that, dude. Yeah, okay, so I think that's enough to just, that's crazy how, that's crazy, but yeah. Spirit just confirmed this whole reading just with this blue star right here. You know, I never know what's going to come out. It's always a surprise. I never know what energy I'm going to be in either when Spirit starts to give me messages. And that's the beauty of it all, because these messages are always to make you feel better, make you know better, make you remember your true nature, because we've been separated from our true nature, and then basically given a different nature that we think is our nature, and we move and walk in that nature, and it's uncomfortable and it makes you sad because you're not walking in your authenticity when you're taking on someone else's nature, someone else's beliefs that you really don't agree with, but then you feel like you have to do it to survive. That's a really, I feel like that is defining the saying, being stuck between a rock and a hard place. The best thing you could do is to connect to Spirit, because you connect to yourself. Because remember, your soul is home. You know, that part made me emotional because I'm so passionate about this, and it made me emotional just because I know so many people are hurting, so many people are sad, so many people are stuck in that place. And you could activate your soul whenever you want. It's crazy because the illusions will trick you into believing that you cannot access the best in you when it's right there, because it's inside of you, so it's always with you. However, it's up to you to activate it. So yeah, that's it for this reading. I hope it gets to those who need to hear it and who can receive it well. And everything you do, do it with love. Always remember that the Creator is in you and the magic is too, because you are magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next energy reading.